Stop. We keep it all in love, cause I know, and you know, you see the feelings never stop. We keep it all in love. I know, no, 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 stand up, I know, no, I know.
I know. Just House Prince. JD, you got the melody, eh?
Yes.
Ringa ringa rose.
When I hear that song, I think of Sammy.
Oh, is it?
Nakanyala.
Ah, Sammy, I wonder how he's doing. Sammy, come through and tell us how you're doing. Masha, Mora. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday, the 14th of March.
Yes.
For matcha. Matcha for March.
Matcha.
Gentlemen, how was your weekend, Calvi?
It was fantastic. So I've just got a little bit of a uncomfortable backache this morning, but I'm not going to complain on a Monday morning. I'll get this sorted out with some medicines later.
My weekend was na.
Ne?
I was lekker cozy. En ik heb zondag 7-a-side soccer gespeeld. En ik heb 3 goals in gespeeld.
Hey!
Wow.
Ik was tough, never.
Is tough.
See, oh, Mitch.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. Ek het gistermiddag, if I really want to piss off my family, I normally do a potjie on a Sunday.
Okay.
And my family is not very fond of a potjie because they keep on, Daddy, moet ons potjie elke naweek maak. Ek sê, you guys want to braai every weekend. Okay? I'm tired of braaivlees.
Yes.
Nee, ek kan nie so aan mekaar braai nie. No, but daddy.
Why don't they like potjie?
Except it's cooking.
Exactly.
It's cooking on fire. But what's the difference? So must we cook in the kitchen so that you feel? But it's the same thing that we are doing inside. We just replicate it outside. On the fire. nee, maar dit is kan nie so baie potjies. I said, shut up.
Die kinders, jy doen miskien die potjie sonder 'n biertjie vir die kinders.
Nee, hulle is so moe.
Die kinders ken die potjie met 'n biertjie, cozy chill.
Do you usually do this on Sunday, Neville?
Yeah, Sundays are normally Sundays are normally my family time. I don't want guests at our house.
Yes.
I don't like to see people. Nothing. Ek en my familie finish en klaar.
So let me give you a tip how you can remedy the situation
Please.
with the kids saying no daddy, no boykie.
Please.
So next Sunday, you and Mevrou,
Yeah.
you wake up early
Yeah.
and you leave the house. And you
Yeah.
go to that little spa there. And
Yeah.
you go eat a big breakfast.
Yeah.
Big one.
Okay.
And then you kind of come home, but without telling the kids, you just don't make any food. You just leave it. They're going to notice here by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock that something is different here. And you let just one Sunday of starvation move across the Basson family home. They will never moan again.
Coffee. You are as sadistic as only a German can be. Asseblief, moenie.
And switch the Wi-Fi off.
Oh!
Then it's double torture.
Hulle kom as ons kakkerlakke uit die kamers uit. Hallo, hallo, hallo. Hallo, hallo, hallo.
Hallo.
Is die wifi gebetaal? Sure.
Ja, Sondag moet jy afswitch. So
Huh?
Sondag, like switch the Wi-Fi off, laat julle kan praat met mekaar as 'n
Ja,
familie.
ja, ja. We love doing that. Sundays,
Yeah.
we love doing that. En ons het gister, we had matangara.
Matangara.
Soos 'n tripe.
Ah, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't like tripe.
Yeah, they also don't. No, mevrou is the one who doesn't like tripe. Sy wil nie afval eet nie.
Okay.
So dan moet dit nou een kant vir haar, you know, a little braaivleis with something else or whatever. But the rest of us, we're eating matangara sommer lekker. And there's a lot of leftovers, so we're still going to be eating offal today. So, Maria Aziz, tea and bread vibes, moro. Mutatio Karstens, moro. Hey, Natalie, Mutandenje, Heike, Besser.
Sy groet is nou 2 weke wat sy net sê, hi Koffie en Neville.
Ek verstaan nie.
Ek verstaan nie.
Nee, jy moet sê wat het verkeerd geloop tussen julle twee.
She's got taste.
Koffie
you
is
know
a
I'm just joking.
No, Koffie is not joking.
Ja, I'm hurt.
Ja,
I'm
be hurt. Is reg.
Deeply injured.
I must report Koffie. The
Gladness,
rightful authorities.
Gladness, it is your birthday today.
Hey,
Happy birthday, Gladness. God's blessings on your life.
Yes.
And all the most beautiful things for you and yourself. Okay? There's a request, Mitch, from her that you need to sing her happy birthday song.
Happy
You
birthday.
can do it.
Yeah.
Is dat happy birthday?
Hallo.
You're the
Besluit.
artist.
Daar sê.
Elopke, tani ngotsa karupa, tani kaitsitite, ovisen reti klasa, opkubani witi. Klaar.
That's abrupt ending.
I didn't hear
She knows the song. It's a nice song.
I didn't hear anything in that song that says gladness.
Yes.
Yes, Elopke, yeah, God, Jesus, it's all good. But what is there nothing?
It just ended so quickly.
It's a nice song.
Maar eindig namas altyd so vinnig. Ek vra net.
Jeez.
Happy birthday, Gladness. Moenie hierdie 2 manne luister. Jy weet daar is 'n song uit my hart uit.
Okay.
Is 'n song uit my hart uit.
Thank you. Gladness, you have yourself a fantastic day today, my sister. And yeah, just know that ons soek koek.
Yeah.
Ons wil koek hê.
Ons wil koek eet, Gladness.
Ja,
You know where we are.
het jy koek?
Het jy lekker koek?
Ja.
Stadig oor die klippe.
Statig.
Do you suggest we rather maar do the news now?
Let's do the news. Just save the moment. This is Informanté Live, and these are our top stories. Cabinet ministers the past weekend convened for the Cabinet biannual retreat where they discussed key projects and policies geared up to build economic growth and to review the progress and successes of the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2. At the event, Vice President Nangola Mbumba shared that the retreat is just the first step in a new chapter where ministers discard the business as usual approach and adopt an action-orientated ethos to scale up effective coordination, implementation and communication of government programs. Touching on some key developments in the country currently, Mbumba shared that members of Cabinet were briefed on Namibia's important discovery of oil and how, together with the quest for green hydrogen, these can turn the economic fortunes around positively. In the same vein, we also heard of ongoing international developments and the potential impact of the implementation of the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2, Mbumba said. A 42-year-old man allegedly killed his girlfriend, Duffy Bokkie Harness, and delivered her battered, lifeless body to her mother's house in a wheelbarrow. According to the Namibian police, the incident occurred on Saturday at around 3 o'clock at the couple's place of residence in the Soweto location at Etoshaport in Uchu. It is alleged that the suspect killed the deceased by hitting her on the head with an iron bar. He then reportedly took the deceased body to her mother's house in the Sevendelaan location using a wheelbarrow, which he borrowed from another house in the same location. The deceased body was then transported to Uchu State Hospital. She had multiple head wounds. The police stated that the suspect has been arrested and will make his first court appearance today. The deceased's next of kin have been notified. And finally, the Namibian police in the Omusati region are yet to arrest a man accused of raping a 6-year-old girl at Onanda village recently. Omusati Police Commander Commissioner Titus Shikongo said the suspect is known but not yet arrested pending investigations in the rape case that was opened. It is alleged that the suspect forced and pulled the victim into the sleeping room, laid her on the bed and raped her, he said. Your Trustco share price today, the 14th of March, is at $1.29 per share. Taking a brief look at the financial indicators, the Namibia dollar is trading against the US dollar at 15 Namibia dollars and 10 cents, against the euro at 16 Namibia dollars and 50 cents, and against the British pound at 19 Namibia dollars and 60 cents. This is Informanté Live, and these were our top stories. You can find more on our website, which is informante.web.na. So it's the second week of our Easter competition on Informanté Live. This week's competition is a tandem skydive opportunity with compliments from Skydive for Fun.
Whatever.
You stand a chance to win a voucher to the value of 1,500 Namibian dollars for a tandem skydive in Swakopmund. All you have to do is hashtag Skydive for Fun. Remember the digit 4 in the comments section of the competition post on our Facebook page. This week's competition ends Friday the 11th. Winners will be announced on social media.
Yes. Excuse me. Sky, you can win a skydiving opportunity.
Yes, at Skydive for Fun.
Excuse me, for
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
Ja, wat mense. Weet jy? Yeah. Listen, if you really want me to go to Swakop, is there give me a voucher to go to Strong Bar. Daar in die locatie or whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
I once went there and I wanted to do skydiving. They gave me a form that I have to fill in.
Right. That in case you fall.
In case I die, it's not their problem. Say, okay, let's skydiving.
Would you skydive?
No.
And you, Neville?
No, I wouldn't.
Why would I do a
Me too. I
sport?
also wouldn't.
Why would I do a thing that tells me you might die?
Right.
And like,
Excuse me?
no. I might die. You are telling me there is a chance that I might die.
Magislat 40.
But now, if you
It takes a long time to die with the 40.
If you're in an aeroplane and the engines stop and you've got a parachute, will you skydive?
Say again.
If you're in an aeroplane
Yeah.
and the engines stop, they break.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with the engines.
Yeah.
And you've got a parachute.
No, then I will.
Now all of a sudden we
Yeah.
will.
But not out of my own free will.
Ja,
I
jy moet in 'n
Why
situasie
don't you
gesit
just
word.
practice it so that it doesn't happen to you? Jump out of a normal flying aeroplane. That makes logical sense, doesn't it?
Take me to a little center here on the outskirts of Windhoek.
Right.
Where there is maybe a room which creates. I mean, I've seen this these training centers where they put you in with a type of a suit.
Okay.
And then you can just hover in the air with a lot of wind blowing under you, and like a type of a prototype kind of
I've
situation where it simulates you skydiving.
Yes.
That I will do, so that when it comes, then me.
But you're not doing anything. You're strapped to a tandem skydiver.
Yeah, that's
He or
one
she-
of the
He or
problems.
she will do it. You don't have to do anything. You must just enjoy it.
Another man will be behind you
Yeah,
on your you'll be up here
holding you.
holding you, telling you
hang
what
on.
not to do. Imagine that guy bitching on the moenie so maak. Yeah, but the groot man is.
I swear, unprotected sex behind is much safer than this
But,
nonsense.
Yeah.
but let me just fix this because I noticed something coming through from the media division on the other side.
Yeah.
I did mention here, and this was an update.
Yes.
I said you stand a chance to win a voucher to the value of $1,500 Namibia. My apologies. It is
3,000.
not correct. It is actually $3,000 Namibia.
Hou op,
Which
man.
means the way that I read this, it's that you don't have to pay anything for the stand and dive. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So all you need to do is go to the Informanté Live Facebook page, and all you have to do is hashtag Skydive for fun, right? And remember the digit 4 in the comment section of the competition post on our Facebook page. So just go to Informanté Live and just go put that in, and you stand a chance to go skydiving. Cool, no?
Somebody's asking that you give through the code or how they can enter it.
SMS,
SMS code, yeah. Is there SMS code or should they just go like?
All you have
comments
to do, the instructions that I got here, all you have to do is hashtag Skydive for fun, and then remember the digit 4.
Ne?
It's a bit confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have to find out. Maybe.
Okay, but we'll give you
find
guys
this
a little
out.
bit more information as we go through the show.
Yes.
That's for you, Mutatio Carstens. Yeah. Heike, vielen Dank. It's called a zero gravity room.
Okay.
Only a white guy can come up with the correct information on such a thing. We will not know what it's called.
They're very specific, those white people. Ne?
Yeah, it's zero gravity room. Okay?
You can't even ask them how old is your kid. Then
Yeah.
they'll start telling you he's 375 days, 4 months.
Kurwan.
I get this now.
Oh, did you get it?
Okay. All right. So what we've got now, all you have to do is just hashtag Skydive for fun. In other words, the letter 4. Not FOR.
Okay.
It's hashtag Skydive for fun. That's all you have to do in the comment section on the Informanté Live Facebook page
I see.
of the competition.
Of the competition.
Yes. So there you've got all the info. Fantastic. Go and participate.
Maria Aziz said, I missed you, Mitch.
Oh, Mary Aziz is beautiful.
Ne? Says, nah. Ja, Mutatio Carstens vra Mitch, is jy 'n beter doper pastoor? It's Monday en hulle begin al vroeg, sê Bradley Covey sê, hou op jy. Coffee is radio voice. Gee die man 'n bonus elke keer as hy nuus lees.
Dankie.
Bradley Covey sê.
Hey, you Bradley.
Ja. Ethel says Moro Mogus. Ja, Line J. Ja. Maria Aziz, Namibian relationships are dangerous. Natalie, we will get into sport right away. Right away. Frago Jose says it is illegal to is it illegal to record someone without their consent in a public place if they are visible and audible? Based on my understanding, in a private setting such as a bathroom or changing area, recording someone without their knowledge is illegal. The gentleman that recorded Gugu in the north being handled wrongfully by her grandchild, did he deserve to be locked up? We'll chat a little bit about that now. Mohau says good morning, happy birthday, Gladness. Natalie says nogals my mother-in-law's house gaan los till death do us part. Disgusting,
Yes, it's
Natalie.
terrible.
Disgusting. Natalie, ja, ek is bang, my skat. Ek en jy slaat net 40 is baie beter. I'll take my chances on that one. Vedi says, is that really our news? We should just call it crime news because Namibia is becoming something else. So disturbing. Mutatio says, Kaufi, may I please have... Okay, yeah,
No,
we
got back. So he
yeah,
says,
we got that comment.
but now, just on that previous comment, Neville, I've been saying this for quite some time. You know, we come in early in the mornings and we compile the news bulletin and all that. But I can't tell you how a Monday morning gets me on edge when I drive from home to work to do this bulletin. Because when I switch on the computer, the updated weekend crime news in Namibia is horrendous. It is really, really horrendous to open up the news on a Monday morning.
Fights,
And it can get to
alcohol.
you,
Fights, rapes, alcohol, murder,
Fire.
fire. It's
Is it in
man.
Swakop that
Swakop,
happened? Now I'm like, why? How does an 8-year-old cook?
Mitch,
Who is allowing that?
Mitch, you are, and with all due respect, you know, I've seen parents lose their lives, which leaves children destitute. I remember in the early 90s when people, so many people died in numbers because of HIV and AIDS. And I told my son the other day, because he's 16 years old, and I told him there were times that mother and father and all the elders are wiped out because of this disease that leaves the 16-year-old to basically become the parent
at the age of
or
16.
the patriarch of the family
Wow.
at the age of 16.
Wow.
So I will not be surprised, Mitch, that this child had but no choice because of circumstances to cook for the family. So I wouldn't even speculate as to why, what. This
in that sense, I'll be like, okay, maar if the kid has both parents are there and that happened, I will be like, oh, that's
Yeah.
just neglect.
Yeah, I understand. And yes, also I think for me, trying to teach my 8 or 9-year-old daughter or son how to cook or whatever, how to manage or maneuver fireplace or whatever, you teach. But that is not. We do this for recreational purposes. They, Perikabashus, it's for survival. So I
Yes.
can imagine
Yeah.
what could have happened there.
I just can't imagine how these paramedics, the forensic guys feel now when they go witness this stuff happen and then you dealing with bodies every day,
Week after
week after week, car crashes. Doesn't that get to you as
Must
a human
I've
being?
been in that business for quite a number of years, and believe me, for let's say a paramedic or a firefighter or a doctor that is in trauma, it is a calling.
It's a
more
calling.
than any. It's
Yeah.
a calling. It's
You
not a
want to do
It's not a decision. It's saying, oh yeah, I'd like to be this or be that. And nursing and paramedics and doctors and all that. It's a calling.
And
It's
that
not
would
easy.
get to me. I know that would get to me. I have an uncle that hy by die mortuary gewerk for the police the police mortuary, and seeing that guy is just very scary for me. I don't know. Even if that guy says simple stuff, I just start thinking about his job. Like again, Joe Bannon by that. Yeah, but I think it will just get to you, and some things that I would feel bad about, he's just cool.
Yeah, we are wired differently.
Yeah, he's cool. I'm like, how?
Mutatio Carson say, Coffee, may I please? Hey, Vijay, hierdie maandag. Free fall is only in South Africa and not in Namibia, says Natalie. Does the skydive come with a six-pack windhoek draf? Joanna Mbudi says, can't I get cash instead? Nee, jy moet gaan spring. You need to go jump. Yeah, what do you mean, Maria? Is come a good question. Nonsense. Happy Monday, lovely gents. Lauren, Lola. Hi, Lauren. Hey, how come I see this? This is the first time I see this name. Maxwell Chiero. Skydive. I would rather give 2 crocodiles a high five.
Yeah. I would do that too.
Taishon says, good morning from Rundu. Who
Yeah.
owns a bar this side want to support hierdie man. Hierdie man
It's a truck driver.
It's a truck driver. He must have a mavutu at every town that he's traveling to. As ek win gaan ons saam, says Mutatio Carstens. To skydive is the end of my life.
I also wouldn't.
Stephanus James, Monday, yeah, would the weather perhaps cheer us up? Ek hoop so. Maar hoekom het Terrence Dennis so oor afgebyt in herlokasie? Vra Mohausi Bolly. Give us a little bit of context. I don't know what's happening there. Yeah.
Hier is die storie van die Terrence in die foto. Ek
Hey!
het dit gelees hier eintlik.
That was that incident where the one bit the other one's ear off.
Ja.
Jeez, I heard something like that.
Mati. Oh, jealous erg. Anyway, before we get into the news of the day, let's quickly just recap the football results over the weekend. On Saturday, the 12th of March, there were a couple of Premier League games played. Just the scores: Brighton 0, Liverpool 2, Brentford 2, Burnley 0. And the game of the day, I think on Saturday, was definitely the game between Manchester United and Tottenham. Manchester United running out 3-2 winners against Tottenham, with Ronaldo scoring a blistering hat-trick on the day. Ronaldo was definitely on form on Saturday after, I think, the debacle when they got hammered by Manchester City last weekend. I watched bit and pieces of the game on Saturday. Not really the full game. I wasn't really focused on the game because I just wanted both teams to. I wanted a draw there. But okay, Manchester
Between
United.
Manchester and Tottenham.
I wanted a draw, but
Because both Harrys scored. Harry Kane, honestly, and Harry Maguire.
did Harry Maguire score an
Yes.
own goal?
No.
Ons het 2-2 gedraw met Tottenham.
Nee,
Both
Manchester
scored
United won.
for Tottenham.
Nee, is dit nie 2-2?
Huh?
Was dit nie 2? Oh,
Nee, dat was 3-2.
3-2, oh.
Dat was 3-2. So, was there nee man. Because what I have here is Ronaldo scored a hat-trick.
Yes.
Chelsea won. Sorry, Kofi. Newcastle nil.
That happened yesterday. I expected that I kind of didn't see Newcastle going to beat Chelsea, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But I would have hoped maybe for a draw. You know, it's still too early days. But yeah, Chelsea, well done. I'll take my Newcastle cap off.
Yeah. I just wonder from here henceforward if maybe the fortunes of Chelsea will be changing now, because you can't pump any more money in this club because of the sanctions against Roman Abramovich, who's the Chelsea owner. So we don't. People are speculating that this is the end of Chelsea. I don't know.
I don't
think so.
it'll be the end of Chelsea. I've got a different feeling about it.
Yeah.
But one thing that, look, good professional soccer players want to have the security of their contracts in place.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
Wayulu says Maguire scored an own goal, our 80 million fridge. I thought Ronaldo scored a hat trick.
I was
Well, so did Ronaldo now score a hat trick or not? Please. Huh? Now, if Ronaldo scored a hat trick, then the score was 3-2.
exactly.
Then how did Maguire score an own goal?
Yes, that
Doesn't make any sense.
It does.
No. It doesn't make any sense.
Miskien die Tottenham se 2 goals is mos Maguire wat dit.
Maguire scored.
Wie kan nou mense so dom is op 'n maandag? I'm sorry. You are right.
Explain to me.
United.
Maguire scored for Tottenham.
Maguire cannot score for Man United.
Yes. Yeah.
He scored.
No, it makes sense now. Huh?
Yeah,
Is je nog weg?
Ja.
Okay. Tottenham scored 2 goals.
right.
Okay.
No, Tottenham scored 1 goal.
Nee. Oh,
One
so
is for Manchester
nee,
United.
stop your nonsense. Shades.
Shans kom mak level keer.
Maak iemand verder deur.
Maguire het geassist.
Okay. Stop it, Mitch. Stop it. Stop it.
Jeez.
Stop it. I need to get Calvi on the same page here. Tottenham scored 2 goals. Which one of the 2 goals that Tottenham scored was actually scored by Maguire. The Man United player scored an own goal.
He assisted Tottenham.
I'll go and watch the game.
Calvi is in sy moer.
Koffie is nog deur mekaar.
Calvi, you guys are not seeing how Calvi looks at me. Calvi looks at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, Calvi, as confused as you are now, I was also a bit confused a few minutes ago. Let's go on. Leeds United 2, Norwich City 1, Everton 0, Wolves 1. Wow. West Ham 2, Aston Villa 1, Southampton 1, Watford 2. And then obviously the game of the day yesterday, I don't know. Nico Kayamo told me last night that I am the only Arsenal supporter who still does not believe that Arsenal can actually clinch a top 4 spot in the Premier League. They won out winners yesterday evening 2-0 against Leicester City, and Leicester City is a damn good team. So yeah,
I want to nominate Maguire for Mugu of the Week.
That guy will be Mugu of the Week every week if we continue to say let's use Maguire's performance as a barometer as to who's going to be the Mugu of the Week. He's going to be Mugu of the Week. He will even surpass
Mugu of the Year. Yeah. Oh man, daai ou net, daai ou is tog.
Yeah.
Nou kon vir die ou nie gesap nie. Sien die coach nie wat gebeur
I
nie.
don't understand why Maguire is not being subbed. I think they first and foremost that they need to strip him of the captaincy.
Yeah.
So that
Yes.
extra responsibility of leadership is taken away from him. Maybe perhaps he will perform a little bit better. But that extra challenge that he has is just not good for him. Happy Monday, lovely gents, says ja, ek het hyne gelees. Okay, ja, herolokasie. Penda Nalin Shiuka says the guys who work at the mortuary have my respect. Batsa, respect your elders. What Mariaz is. Frago Jose says Henties base Mavutu have a price list for foreign fishermen. Huh? If you know, you know. Dis gevaarlik, but it's a beautiful town. Roviera says, Sinjay, dis hoekom ek nie vir Mitch soek by menu nie. Maguire en Mitch, selle. Maguire scored an own goal, sê Boyulu. Maguire is so dololo. says Matundenje. Asino says Maguire scored an own goal. Mitchell Mutumba says, Mitch, your captain, not fantastic. Almost costed you guys the game. Maguire scored the second goal for Tottenham. Stefanus James says, daar het Stompie dan gister 3 goals geskop. Ja!
Ja, joh, speel je met me.
Own goal. Keyword, Kaufi. Keyword, own goal. Kaufi, kwara so oor sokker, maar verstaan Hanna niks.
Ja, maar ek verstaan nie maak dit nou nog nie sin nie.
Okay.
It just doesn't make sense.
Ons gaan jou die highlights wys, sal jy sien.
Ek gaan dit self uit.
Manzido says, Mondays can make people stupid. Nee, own goal is counting against you. Wayulu says, it was Ronaldo up against Maguire and Tottenham. He single-handedly them while carrying the 10 Man United players on his back. Readiness Chikongo says, any fellow Man United fans here that knows where Harry Maguire's house is, I just need to go ask him something. David De Gea in his press statement said that he finds a challenge on saving shoots. Maguire, he can't stop scoring. Ay, Joshua.
Ja, ek dink die coach, onze coach sit so en hy's like, hy het ons coach, die ons het like, coach, sap vir Maguire sê, hy het ons 80 miljoen gekost, laat hy net ingaan. 80 miljoen, ons kan hom nie laat sit, jy moet bietjie werk.
Wow. Well, guys, that's the sport. That's the sport for you. Let's quickly get into some of the news of the day. Very quickly, just before we get into the news of the day, the question that somebody asked earlier, whether you can film somebody in public.
Whether you can film somebody in public.
Yeah. Is it legal? Can I film you in public?
I think it's legal in a public space.
It's legal in a public
Ja,
space.
like as jy in die dorp loop en ek vat 'n camera uit en
Are
ek
we coming back to the
Yeah.
ladies with the indecent exposure?
This is something else.
This is I think it's a guy who was manhandling his mom and somebody
Is it?
somebody took a video of that.
Okay.
And now he is probably he's jailed for that, I think.
I think you are allowed to film somebody.
No, I'm saying that's why I'm saying I think, bro.
I think
So I don't know if that was the case, but that's what I heard.
I think you can film
But you know
anything
what-
that your eyes can see.
What they were referring to, I think they're referring to the case of the old lady, the 19-year-old girl who was fighting her grandma.
Yeah. So
The
it's
guy recording. Now, what you have to understand, when that guy, if you could hear on the voice in the background, it seemed that he wanted to have evidence because the girl is uncalled for. He wanted evidence that he can present.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
Because he was like, okay, just let her go. This girl is really uncalled for.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Shines from what you are saying is that I think it's legal to film somebody in public.
yeah.
What because I know in America, I think for the last 2-3 years we understand what filming is all about, and that is why it's basically spilling over now through the rest of the world with all the police beatings, etc., and the back and forth racial attacks in America.
But then you do realize the in legal terms, and please understand that I'm not a legal eagle here. The term is, what would the reasonable man do? Do you guys know about that? So let's say, for example, you drive past a motor vehicle accident, and you're the first one to drive past it and see.
Yeah.
The reasonable man would stop and get out and start calling for assistance or
Yeah.
see how
Yeah.
to help in the best way forward. Now, there are certain liabilities that go hand in hand with that because you're not a medical person, so if you pick somebody up, that would be a problem.
That person might break
But
his neck or
The
something.
reasonable man would get out and start phoning the emergency services if he's got a phone available to the best of his ability.
Yes.
So now let's say, for example, there's a guy who's now videoing a teenager who's beating up her grandmother. And he's busy filming that. Would that be the reasonable thing to do, or would it be the reasonable thing to do to get involved there and get her to stop beating her grandmother?
Wow.
It's very
What
difficult.
a good question. to
Yeah,
ask.
You understand what I'm trying to say? So we're all very eager, all of us, to put the movie on, just film it, so that I can get more likes on my Facebook page or WhatsApps or TikToks or whatever the case. But you didn't do what the reasonable person would do.
Golf feel that it can still be it can still be argued in a way that when sometimes, for example, what happened in this case, I think that has been an ongoing case between the two, and they have been having fights.
Oh, okay.
So
What-
they
what-
want to get evidence for the authorities
Yeah.
that this
Okay.
is-
What Shines is saying is that perhaps, and I guess Shines, we're speculating here that maybe this person or this guy who filmed it decided, you know what, this has been an ongoing thing, and now we're going to get the evidence to actually showcase and use this as legal material to ensure that there is a conviction here. Because if you continuously be doing this, then here is the evidence.
And it's not just, it's the same as people will see like two couples and then somebody's probably abusing the other one. And these two couples, you get involved, they start fighting you. So people be just like, okay, let's just film this and probably give it to the rightful authorities. Maar dan rank al twee couples vir jou kwaad nou. Is net so ek is baie die moenie in ons stories inkom nie.
Ja.
Difficult.
Maxwell Chera says, yes, Neville, you can film someone in public. You can't, however, film someone on private property.
Okay.
I saw a law film about it. Ek word mos nou gejay
Ja, jy wil jy word hy film.
Ja. Yo, julle jippe, Maxwell. Stephanus James says, that's what I've seen, that's what I've been saying this whole time. Laat Stompie die camera operate en sê
Die man het dieselfde ding gesê wat ek gesê het.
Ja, wat
ek
is
het
die
net
story?
gesê it's a guy.
Ja.
En ek there was a team.
It was a lady.
It was a lady.
Um,
Gaan man, Stephanus. Stephanus. You see, I must block Stephanus. I already told you never.
block him.
Ek sal hom block.
Block him one time. Guys, yeah, over the weekend, the president and his team congregated at a cabinet conference. Okay. And it's reported here in one of the dailies that the president had a few things to say about Namibia and our healthy democracy. And I will just read some of what was said. President Hage Geingob says, those who say Namibia was better governed during apartheid are not being reasonable in their comparisons, adding that the country is far better off today. He made the comments on Friday at the just concluded opening of the first cabinet biannual performance review. Those comparing pre- and post-independent Namibia had no tangible evidence to suggest the country was better governed. He told the gathering, you cannot tell me that Namibia under apartheid was better than Namibia today. Somebody was saying the Boers were building houses. Which houses? Huh? Where is that person coming from? Quoted kind of. So please, what is happening is people are demanding because they have hopes. He said, don't be against your own country. Be patriotic, he fumed. The head of state, however, admitted that Namibia is plagued with problems, but said it is not fair for it to be compared to apartheid Southwest Africa. Let's complain, but we must stop somewhere in complaining and tell the truth. Yes, we have problems, as I said, but you cannot compare Namibia under apartheid with Namibia of today. They are worlds apart, he said. Your comments, gentlemen. Kaufi?
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot compare the two.
Okay.
They're two total different systems. The previous, what you call it, die vorige bedeling.
Yeah.
Dispensation.
Dispensation.
The previous dispensation had just so many other things
Mm-hmm.
that were in place, and a lot of them weren't right.
Wacht net
You know
bietjie,
what I
Mitch.
mean?
Wacht net bietjie.
But in terms of comparing, let's say, that time with now, You can't do that because we've gone through a transition of our own independence. We now, effectively, after 30 years, we have now been able to build up our own identity with everything that is right and everything that is wrong in it. Okay, so going constantly back and trying comparing this, in my mind, we should not do that. We, as a young nation, even after 30 years, we need to concentrate on our challenges in our country as they are now. You know, and there are things right in our country at the moment, but there are also things wrong.
Yes.
Right. So let's concentrate on that and address those issues. Us as a combined unit, as a one singular Namibia. That is the way and we should use everything that we have in power. We should use our politicians. We should make sure that we vote for the right politicians. We should, and I still, as I sit here and speak, I still have a huge problem with our Namibian legal system. It's there's so much wrong in our Namibian legal system. But we should use our legal people. We should use our authorities. We should use our social systems, our educational systems, our health systems, you know, all that to move the country forward into the right direction, and at the best of our ability, eradicate all these antisocial things, the criminal stuff, so that we can move forward as one.
Okay. Mitch?
Beautiful. Like, for me, like, if the president was telling this to my mom, but I would say it's a fact that really the housing, and like a bricklayer could afford a house back then. A guy that works at let's say a supermarket could afford a house back then. Now we have people that are in managerial positions at banks and what struggling. They are still renting. So that is just proof there that says the living standard and the prices of houses and everything right now, it is not affordable for an average Namibian.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that somebody that's a manager at the bank who is getting paid $40,000 probably cannot afford a house.
Yeah. Okay, that is one aspect of an independent Namibia that I think I collectively, with a lot of other people, don't agree with the president. Housing, the housing problem should have been sorted out very early after independence, because housing, education, and hospitalization or medical care.
Yeah.
Those three basically forms the cornerstone of a very successful government. Okay? But if we talk about housing, I think we failed there. There are many other instances that we as Namibians succeeded in after independence. But housing, that's been a failure. The mass housing project,
Even the medical.
yeah, the mass housing project that ran disastrously a few years ago, with houses still open at the moment or not being completed, is a problem. But overall, for me, I would agree with what you say, Kaufi. It's incomparable at the moment for me. I would not agree with my mother's theory that the apartheid years were better. My mother is 72, 73 years old. She lived in a different era where she was okay with the scraps coming from the table. She was okay with that. And she comes from an era where she was like, julle moet die boere respect. That's how my mother, she was raised like that. So
there might have been some aspects that were better.
Yes.
But there definitely were some aspects that were not.
That were not.
Okay. So we're sitting pretty much, please don't compare this. I don't want to compare this. And I want to make sure that I come across correctly.
Yeah.
The challenges that we have currently. Let's talk housing.
Yeah.
Just for a brief moment.
Yeah.
We've got the challenges of the housing problem. And housing should have been addressed better. I agree with you. And I don't think if the housing problem was addressed better, that we'd be perfect in every way regarding housing.
Of
we
course
would
not.
still have our housing
Yes.
challenges. But we need to address the housing challenge in
Yes.
Namibia.
Yes.
Because if I were to ask you, show me one country, even first world countries, that have got their housing problem totally sorted out.
I think a country like Libya had their housing problem sorted out completely, in my view.
Yeah.
Okay, because I believe Muammar Gaddafi. If I watched videos over the last couple of weeks, especially now after this invasion of the Ukraine, this unlawful invasion of Ukraine, I obviously tried to compare it with what has happened in Libya.
Yes.
And you see a lot of Libyans today regret what they did years ago with disposing Muammar Gaddafi. But if we use healthy democracies like South Africa, Namibia, etc., as a cornerstone or as an example, we failed our people when it comes to housing.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Because there are few people who have enriched themselves in these projects. The cost of land is extremely high, and land has been used as in my view, as a strong bargaining tool for certain people in power to enrich themselves.
Yes.
And now we sit with a situation where, like you say, somebody who has a salary of $40,000 can't afford a house.
To buy a house. And I'm not just sucking this out of my thumb. I'm talking about
Yes.
my broer, my eie broer van Pradik, my eie sister van Pradik. So ek sê, like, it's just that's net nonsense. And then we have things like the independence celebration, 25 million.
Ons kom nou daar.
Vader van Keetmans.
As hierdie week sal ons praat daaroor.
Another aspect, and I'm just reading through a couple of things here regarding Libya and homelessness and all that. You've got to remember something. The moment that a country gets asylum seekers, let's take the Ukraine, for instance. They might move over to Poland. Germany might say, yeah, give us 300,000. You know, all these people arriving overnight in a country due to war-torn regions are homeless. These people also need to be housed.
Yes.
So there are huge challenges when it comes to housing. We in Namibia, we live in a peace-loving southern African region. Thank goodness for that. But I do agree. I think Namibia government can do something more regarding our homeland.
We are
Yes.
in a very peace-loving region. Ma Botswana Botswana is testing our patience here. Botswana wil ons toets. Hulle moet opbou.
Mitch, hou op. Let's stick to the topic.
Ek sê net ons is peaceful mense, maar Botswana toets ons.
Ja.
Man,
Kom ons kyk net gou. Tangeni with the capital T says, can the president please stop? It's a fact that the housing issue was better in the old days. We can't argue about that. Rob the Don Hunter says, the past with what is current is incomparable. But folks are tired of this administration. It's clear as daylight. Clotilda, hey, hier kom hy sister. Hier kom hy. Ons ken mos waar jy staan. Guten Morgen. Let me meditate not to compare the two.
the universe.
Clotilda.
The universe.
Mutumba says the president needs to understand many of my age group didn't grow up under apartheid, but we see the buildings like the state hospital, which is still standing today, even though they are falling apart. Tangeni with a capital says misappropriation of resources. Namtouch Pascal says, who built Katatura and Central Hospital if it's not the Boers? Some people just know how but don't know how to implement their saying. He has been in power almost for 7 years now, but there are no changes made. Corruption by ministers is happening in his administration. Corruption by ministers happening in his administration. On Dome Mana, we quickly need to touch on that issue.
Yes.
Please remind me of it. There's a question I need to ask you guys. I thought a few years ago South Africa, Libya, and Namibia was on the list of the most wealthiest countries in Africa. Am I wrong or things have changed? Estimate, I think we've done pretty well in terms of quality of life, and that is why Namibia has been, or Windhoek has been, one of the cities in the world that's the most expensive to live in because of our political stability. Mutumba says, Mitch, we are the fourth most uneven country on the list after South Africa, as was reported on the last Friday's paper. Wow. Maxwell says, the first apartheid was about racial and economic discrimination and marginalization. The current apartheid is about economic discrimination and marginalization. Our leaders are now treating Namibia like it's a piece of cake for them to eat alone. Mohau says, apartheid was painful, but it is still carrying us. What has the independent government done? Nothing but theft. Mutatio says, Mitch, did you say that a guy who earns 40,000 can't afford a house? Nah. Stephanus James says, watch those elders proceed with the independence celebrations. Hey, Khan. Clotilda says, estimate Europeans still believe Namibia is wealthy, judging by resources and population. Mutumba says the Messing House project was just enrich oligarchs who are politically connected. How many overnight millionaires were created because of such a project? Dinah says, Dinah says Dinah is watching. Trini says, wealthiest with reference to what exactly, estimate? Also, South Africa is the number one country in the world regarding inequality within its citizens. But we will vote for the ANC. Joshua Hadula says, in all honesty, Vision 2030 must be questioned in layman's language. 8 years ain't that far, and looking at the 5 pillars, it's really ridiculous to overcome this. Ancient ancestors in leadership. Jy het nie respect nie, Maxwell. Ancient ancestors in leadership always want to remind us about how they freed us from apartheid, forgetting that they got us into a new type of apartheid where the rich and connected misappropriate Namibian resources. Can the members of the community also come up with suggestions on how we can best meet the housing needs of all Namibians instead of always just blaming government? If we have good ideas, let's share them. Natangwe says, the amount was clarified that it is 25 million, but not 2.5.
Hoekom het dit so uitgekom? Eerst de 25 en nou het a dot in die middel gezet.
Is it now the independence celebrations?
Yeah. In one of the dailies, it came out as 25 million for independence celebration. And then I think, was it Friday? Somebody said on Facebook, no, it's actually, it's 2.5 now. Omdat die mensen gaan complainen. One guy actually sent a whole letter to me about his view on the independence celebration and the $25 million. Hoe moet onze ministers en goed nou celebrate? Sê julle maar moet die ouens 'n potjie maak soos Neville? Moet hulle net potjie maak?
Maar potjie maak.
Die prijsstorie van hulle werk nie.
Because you know what, and talking about this allegation, this unfounded allegation about ministers enriching themselves, that was talked about by someone here, an unscrupulous element will remain nameless. In Friday's newspaper, in one of the dailies, documented how Namdia enriched a few very well-connected Namibians, okay, where these guys pocketed over $100 million Namibian dollars amongst the 3 of them.
What?
Yes, that is now in the name of John Walenga.
Here you go.
Doran Cohen, Kom ek kyk of ek kan sien met hierdie bril.
Kafology bril daai.
Jy sien maar, is mooi.
Yeah.
Ek sien baie mooi.
Time, Neville. It's
Ja, maar
time.
moenie
time,
brille
nee.
opsit nie. Moenie brille
Nee,
opsit.
actually. Doran Cohen pocketed 46 million Namibian dollars. Mr. John Walenga pocketed 33.1 million Namibian dollars. And Mr. Kauluma pocketed 35 million Namibian dollars. Are among the key beneficiaries of a company that received around 138 million Namibian dollars over 4 years for valuating diamonds for Namdia. Okay.
Yes.
Israeli diamond dealer Cohen, a key player in the deal, yesterday admitted to the Namibian that the business was seemingly started to line the pockets of a few individuals. Together, they benefited from the spoils of a controversial diamond valuating deal, which is now criticized by senior government officials, such as Leon Jooste, the public enterprise minister. The deal, however, provided enough cash for the clique of 3 people to splash on luxuries such as BMW X5s, M5s, Lexuses, etc. The reason why I'm mentioning this is that shortly after this came afore, the then Minister of Mines and Energy, Obed Kanjove, was moved from that ministry and relocated to the Ministry of National Planning.
Aha.
So
Sounds familiar.
and if you go read this article, it clearly shows that between Obed Kanjove and Saki Shangala, they decided to give the contract to C60.
Right. Right.
They just decided. There was no
Tender process
there
or
was no-
quotation process.
There was no process where any other company had the opportunity to tender for this diamond valuating business. Saki and Obed allegedly decided this is the company who's going to do this.
Right.
So, hello.
Never look. It just sounds familiar. It's like the other case. On Salnone, the Diamond Rod case. The guys are moving people that they want in the positions. They place them in the positions for future references. Like, hey, on Salvandafanaf. Yet then they remove other people that they can't control, and then place people they can control and eat with. Is maar net so. Is 'n groot probleem. Is maar net so. Los die manne laat hulle eet jou geld.
Stephanus James says, in March 2020, your president said that the renovations of the Katatura State Hospital would commence in April of that year. Same year. I thought I would share that with you. Okay? He is also your president. For your information, Stephanus James Ananias. Teshon says Namibia is rich with rots. Joshua Abdullah says Saki moet 'n boek skryf. Daai ou het hierdie land in 'n ding gesit. Rob the Don Hunter says these old heads, with all due respect, ate and they ate well. They are the ones who signed the documents, who agrees contracts with all those foreign investors. It's easy to come to Namibia and take long as you have money to smear the dog, the top dog. Maxwell said, this is why I'm starting a new political party in a few years. I'll call it NAMPO. No corruption under my watch. You guys can trust me. Okay, Maxwell, we will wait for you. Kini says, therein lies the distortion in the analytics, if not broken down further, as the stats can be misrepresented if not analyzed properly and objectively. Muhao says, how many times have members of the community taken a step to address the housing matter? But every time they are interrupted by elites that make money from the average Namibian suffering. until it is the government's the goal to make Namibia better, the dire need on the ground will continue to steep deeper and deeper. Mutumba says nothing will happen to those fellows. Wasn't RDP calling for the opening of those documents so Namibians can understand why their resource wealth is going? Imagine a quarter of that money could have built a water pipe from the Kavango River to the homes of people. And that last sentence is my pain.
Ja, Neville praat altyd oor die story. Die water pipe van Mutumba. But Neville, I've come to an understanding that all this stuff will always exist to balance out life. Mense sal daar wees wat steel, mense sal daar wees wat mekaar doodmaak. It's just, there is no way that you can eradicate corruption or poverty. Just like there has to be some kind of balance in life. So I've decided
in a perfect world we're not going to have it. In a perfect world.
Yeah, we are not going to have it.
Yeah, but it's unfortunately not a perfect world.
Yeah. It's not a groot probleem. And I mean, if I was in the position, Neville, and I know Kaufi had let's say Kaufi had a mass removal company, a truck and what. Kaufi has other businesses. JS know you have a company probably for printing marketing, and I got a tender. I got the tender. And I know that Neville has that company, or I'm sitting there at the tender board, and I know Neville has the company. Kaufi has what? If I give Neville this tender, I can get 50 or 30% from Neville. If I give Kaufi, I'll get, and that will give me $70 million. So why would I know it will just come to you as a person like, hey, I will not give this out as a tender. I will actually choose Neville and Kaufi because I know them and I will benefit from them.
Okay, so what you are basically saying is that when it comes to the procurement processes of our country, there's still a lot of corruption happening, Kaufi.
It is.
Neville.
Jy het hom afgesit.
Neville, we need to concentrate as a complete nation on our social systems. And I always come back to this one quote where we say we need more business in government than what we need government in business. So let's take a couple of examples. Right. Government owns a number of things. Government owns, let's say, hospitals. Government owns schools. Government owns
mines, telecommunications.
Parks. Government has got shareholding in telecommunications. So now if government says, listen, I'm sitting here, let's take an example with the Etosha National Park. Government, I own it. But I'm unable to run it because I don't have the expertise. Because I am government. I want to be government, but I don't know. I don't have the expertise in running that. So then what happens is that government needs to bring in private enterprise and contract with private enterprise to run, let's say, and I'm talking about the parks here. Okay, let's say a Namatoni, a Olali, and Okakweyu. Because now what we've seen a whole lot of lodges jump up on the outside of Etosha. And those businesses are running their businesses successfully. Whilst if you are staying in Okakweyu, there are a couple of shortcomings when it comes to service delivery. Let's look at schools. If the schools that government runs would have been so good, then there would have been absolutely no need for private schools. Because we've seen private schools jump up everywhere.
Private schools jumping up.
Hospitals. We've got the problem with the state hospital, right? And I always say, don't build a new hospital, just fix the old one, okay? But now we've got private hospitals and clinics jumping up everywhere. So the private sector is clearly showing government that, hang on a moment, guys, you can't run nothing properly. You should be governing. You shouldn't be running these organizations. Get the expertise in to do that for you.
So our tender board should also be outsourced.
No,
it shouldn't be government.
The clever people need to sort that out. I'm just going to make a statement. The tender board needs to sort it out. But what I'm saying is that government if government brings private enterprise closer to it, and I don't think PPP has done us any justice in terms of this, right? But if government would have gone and say, right, let's bring a private enterprise closer and let private enterprise help us to do that what we are just unable to do. Look at the advantages of that. Employment creation, proper employment creation, taxation that will be paid,
Yes.
service delivery that would go up, you know? And I just think that we're sitting with a government that wants to own it all. They just want to have it all for themselves. Instead of going to private sector and say, guys, we are in trouble here. This is the way it's going to go
do it together.
forward, whether it's a tender process or whatever the case. And yeah, please don't
Very
don't
good
smear
idea
the
there.
inside of my palm just to get the tender.
Yeah.
But we'll
Very
probably
good
see
idea
that
there.
also still happening.
Coffee, very good idea.
Mutumba says, guys, it's why our best engineers who happen to be German would rather move abroad to work there than work local, because the political connected have set up businesses and are keeping the tenders among themselves.
Yeah.
Pendanali says the president's ex-wife also got tenders back when he was a prime minister. So yeah, I saw that front page making the circles among WhatsApp groups last week, Penda. Too many pulling in different directions but want the same, says Rob Dadon Hunter. Joshua Adula says the day NFL and NFA agree with a condition for football to commence, Swapper should open up a football. Swapper will seen as the Chelsea we knew for the past 6 years. Rob says, how many political parties can stand? Do you guys think we have too much, and will we progress if these parties align their values and join forces? Do we have too many political parties?
No, man, I don't think we
No,
have
I don't
too
think
many.
so.
And like we know 3 that are active. PDM and LPM and Swabo. That's the 3 I know that are active. Actively, like they are out there trying to like, and they're in the fight. Maar the others is, ek ken nou nie wat het gebeur met Judy Evgoed en al die. Judy
I don't think we have too many political parties. I just think we have too many regions.
Too many?
Regions in Namibia. We don't need so many regions in Namibia.
How many regions do we have? 13 regions.
13.
It's 13, eh?
Yeah, we got 13 regions. So what would your suggestion be, Calvin?
I think the system needs to be what you call it simplified. Okay, and I'm not saying that, but maybe we should have a northern region,
Yeah,
have a central region,
yeah.
have a southern region, a western region, and an eastern region. And maak die ding net
Finish
so
and klaar.
complicated.
No, yeah, nee. As
Because like
big
in the regions we've still got the constituencies, and it's just like this hierarchy of stuff.
What always used to confuse me is like from
14 regions.
14.
Yeah.
Oh,
From
okay.
Rehoboth to Marintal, it's another region, but from Marintal to Luthrat, it's another region again. And I'm like,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
and I'm like, yeah, why?
Why can't it just be from Marintal to Luthrat?
Luthrat's one region, yes.
One region.
Yes.
Okay.
And then central would be, let's say, from
Commas can be from Rehoboth.
Machimarongo down to Marintal.
Yeah, Kumas can be like from Rehoboth to Okanya or what?
Yeah, maybe up to Ochurongo.
Ochivarongo.
I don't know.
No, Ochivarongo is too way up there, man.
No. Machimarongo is
It's 200 kilos from us. It's net 200.
200 kilos is baie.
Yeah.
Ek haat ry, I hate driving.
Nee, maar that's all right. Maria said, hey, Tuva, for our very small population, I definitely think we have too many political parties. Worse, even the opposition parties aren't pushing in the same direction, which gives the ruling party even more power to exploit that division. Which brings me, Mitch, to a story here in one of the dailies that there is trouble in paradise in the LPM.
There is nothing wrong in LPM. We are good.
Yeah, okay. LPM leader Bernardo Swartboy says his party remains unshaken and focused. He made these remarks during the party's media conference yesterday, and rumors that some members want to topple the party's leadership. A group allegedly led by LPM MP Edson Edmund Isaacs, a former journalist Richard Swartboy, and 5 others are suspected of wanting to replace the party's leadership, as well as remove the non-Nama speaking members from parliament. Those allegedly targeted are MP and LPM Deputy Leader Henny Sebeb and Utara Mutu, as well as Treasurer General Aina Kodi. LPM leader Bernardo Swartboy said political parties should not only represent one ethnic group. He insisted that the LPM is a nationalist party for all people, which has a footprint across all 14 regions of the country. That must be clear to our members and to those that are campaigning and mobilizing for this great party, he said. Bernardo's likened the group that is allegedly plotting to remove the LPM leadership to misbehaving children who are naughty on a social media platform. If this breakaway movement says they don't want people in parliament who cannot speak Nama, that is messed up.
Yeah, it's really
That is really, really messed up. And here I will commend Bernardus for keeping his party multicultural. We can't expect, then it would be the same thing that people accuse SWAPO of being a Vambu party, or PDM being a Hero party, or whatever. That's nonsense.
And I think one of our leaders actually resigned.
Okay.
Yeah, he resigned and saying that Bernardus, the name calling from Bernardus to him, and I think it's the one from Kietmans, and the disrespect is just too much, so he decided to resign.
It's fine. He's got his own free will. But with the IPC lurking here, I think with the next elections, we're going to have another political party who will be our force, perhaps. Doesn't matter what we say, you don't have to agree with the IPC or whatever, but they will have something to say in the political circle, in the political arena.
A lot of white people left IPC was. As the IPC was.
IPC.
Yeah, I've seen, I've checked it on Politics Watch, Namibia on Facebook. A lot of people were complaining again.
Leaving to where?
They just left. They don't want to do politics anymore. My mates said, "Net gaan play on retire." You know what that guy was doing? He was playing a racist liberation song that talks bad about white people to white people and singing it.
I saw the.
Did you see that video?
I think I saw that video like a year or two ago.
Yeah. So somebody was narrating this.
Yeah,
and made a video narrating this, and it was.
Nah.
I don't know how he explained him out of that.
I think for everybody to say that, when it comes to politics, I think it's important that we need to learn to pull in the same direction here. If we want a more robust and more competitive political arena that can or want to challenge the ruling party. But if you have instances like this, like the LPM or whatever, the ruling party laughs in their faces. Dankie. Gaan julle maar net so aan. What is ever happening in the IPC, the stuff that is happening at PDM at the moment.
They can just exploit the division.
What? That's okay. But anyway, kom ek lees nog 'n paar comments. Clint Glover says, guys, the problem in the systems is that all arms of government that are supposed to police each other are now party to the appointing authorities. If the army and police are professional, judiciary is impartial, the executive would be held accountable and vice versa. But alas, the very other arms are now tools of advancement, thus incapacitating the voting system. What recourse do the voting public have in the now if political parties are failing in terms of their political mandates to govern? Joshua Dula says, LPM is renting a house in Windhoek West. The landless people movement who How will you become landowners if the agenda is to rent? You know, Joshua Dula, it's one thing to say and ek sien Mitch lag hier so, but maybe the housing problem that we talked about earlier is really a problem.
It's really a problem.
Yeah, Stephanus James Ananias says, I forgot about IPC. No, as IPC is a Vint 8, if you guys forgot about IPC. Mutumba says, the other side of African politics, we practice tribal politics and vote for people based on tribal lines and not on political ideas. Aha. Asina Kambikiti says 230 kilometers to be exact. Yep, is LPM slogan Namas United Mitch from Mutatio Karstens. Mutumba says LPM need to work hard because it was built on tribal lines. It will always have such fights. Was LPM built on tribal lines?
No,
I
not
don't know.
really. I think why people think that is because the whole outfall of him leaving Swapo and all that was he had a problem with Namas not owning land in the south.
Yes.
But then there are Vambus owning land there. There are Hereros owning land there. And he was like, no, with the division, like divide appropriation of land was more to the other tribes then, and he had a problem with that. He was like, no, that kind of, and that was the outfall they had. So now people are just like, it's a Nama party. But LPM is for everybody.
Joshua Dula says LPM should change their party name to NPM, Nama Movement Party.
But I think that type of, like, you know, racial politics, tribal politics is what started most civil wars in African countries. Like, because this certain tribe is this party, and this guy becomes a president and neglects this tribe and the other tribe and the other tribe, then they start fighting amongst each other. You hear who is killing who. That's just too dangerous. It's very dangerous to have that type of politics, I think.
Clotilda says it's the ministries for me. How many are they by now?
Check for on stock.
Yeah, this.
I would like to know that.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of
According
ministries.
to a census done according to reports from 2018, and please remember this is a long time ago, we have 113,659 employees in government.
Yeah.
Okay, of which
How many? 100?
113,659. But this figure is definitely old.
Must
but
be
it just
old.
gives you, and 57% of government employees are female, apparently.
37%.
57.
57%. Okay. It's good to hear.
The sexism.
Um,
I'm kidding.
Don't go down that road.
Yeah. Joshua Abdullah says, are there any Namas owning land over the red line?
Nope.
I would say no.
I would also say no.
Show me a Nama that owns land over the red line.
We have 23 ministries.
23
I think that's old.
ministries.
I think that's old. Is it?
It's a
I thought
lot.
our ministries are like something in the 30s.
Some of them were merged, so
Oh.
Yeah, like I know it was Leon Juster's ministry, I think, is dissolving at the moment. So,
safety became with Home Affairs.
yeah, safety became with Home Affairs. Yeah, there's
So they
been
were
a few
just
changes.
merged, ne?
They were merged, yeah.
So Neville Egvelnet that say and Stephanus asseblief Neville laat Kaufi sê weather and corona figures here for ons nou hierso and Kaufi please let the people know I'm reading the news tomorrow.
Which will be reading the news tomorrow. Ek sal aanlyn gaan.
You guys can decide between Mitch because Kaufi will be on leave tomorrow. Kaufi, until when are you on leave?
No. It'll only be from 12 o'clock today till tomorrow evening.
Oh, okay.
I've got some specific things to do.
Okay.
Right.
So I think everybody must just vote as to who's going to be reading the news.
He's the LPM person on my left-hand side. Our big
Kau-
Mitch should be reading the news.
Kaufi selected me. He gave me
total trust in you.
Kaufi has trust in me.
Ooh, Koffie, laat die mense besluit who will be reading the news to.
Okay.
Mutatio Carson say 23 ministries, and that is why too many.
I wouldn't be able to say that, Mutato, because I just don't have the expertise. If you were to ask me, Kofi, do we have too many ministries? I wouldn't be able to tell you because I just don't have the expertise in that. Maybe it is, but maybe it's not, or maybe it's just on par.
Ek hoor jou.
I wonder. Maybe there's some a viewer out there who's closer to what it actually should be.
Joshua Dula says, then the Namas aren't hungry enough to own land, then which conclude invasion of the Wambus in the south. Estumich says, why vote for people and complain you are suffering years after years? It's like people enjoying the suffering unless the elections are rigged according to Trump. Find me votes. Trump. I just need you to find me
Votes.
11,287 votes.
But you can just ask Putin for it. I mean, Russia has been giving them the votes. There's big
Trump.
talk now about Trump coming in for a second time, no?
He can come in. I don't think, you know what? And we can debate
That's
that.
another topic.
We can
That's
debate
gonna be
that.
it's gonna be a long debate
He's gonna run. I know he's definitely gonna run.
for president.
He's gonna run for president in 2024. He's gonna run because his ego will not allow him not to run.
His ego.
Yes.
That's my homie.
Yeah, is reg. But there are one or other two Republicans that I do see that can, in fact, overtake him. The Florida governor, DeSantis is his name. He's very popular under Republicans. But yes, Trump still has the lead at the moment. But Trump is busy marking his name so hot at the moment with his wayward comments. He's not sticking to one principled opinion about, for example, this war.
Well, yeah.
And he will be held accountable by voters at that specific time.
It'll be in Putin's interest to have Trump in that.
Of course, it will be in Putin's interest, little lapdog.
Although Trump has gone to go and see Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping and Putin and all that, if you look at those guys, it is as if Trump is just not able to get to that level where those guys are. He's just, it doesn't look as if he is on the same level as Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. I'm not saying Biden is, please understand me correctly. But I think a strong Republican, other than Trump, is the way to go.
I also think so. If the Republican Party wants to really restore Republican values,
Yes.
old Ronald Reagan Republican
This
values,
whole conservatism.
yes, they need to get rid of this guy. They really need to get rid of him. This guy just starts me off. And so I would really, and I think currently it's a little bit unfair to compare a guy like Biden with Trump. Biden has been a seasoned politician who happens to be very old at the moment.
Yes.
He's slow
Yes.
in mind, he's slow in speech, he's slow in body, etc., etc., etc.
Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, that's what we can call Trump a lot of things. A lot of stuff.
Joep, asseblief kom defend onze braai.
Ek sien Joep. Joep is reg. Trump se bra. But anyway, 5 minutes to 10. Kan ons
Right.
Koffie kan ons die weer kry asseblief.
No, but must we not first do Corona?
Ja.
Because I brought some additional information with.
Koffie het gesê jy sal ons
Honestly,
woord stats
Do
gee.
you guys know that we've got a huge active Corona case problem in Germany as we speak?
What?
We've got 3,746,000 active cases in Germany. And it's all attributed, apparently, to the asylum seekers and the other people coming across. So Germany has got a massive spike. It's the highest spike ever. You guys won't believe if you look at this graph. And that is, of course, a bit of an issue for us because our borders are open to German tourists.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the United Kingdom has currently got 1,136 active cases.
Wie?
The United Kingdom. So they're not spiking at the moment. In fact, they've come down. But yeah, are we looking at a European spike? And then are we saying that we're going to get another spike by May this year? That
Take your
needs to be
boosters.
seen. But good news for Namibia, we currently have 211 active cases with 9 new cases and 9 recoveries. So we are on even ground, and we've had 0 deaths over the weekend.
Our active cases are?
211.
Ag, is alright man.
Huh? That's all right.
Ons gaan aan.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's all right.
yes.
Ons gaan aan. Ons het die probleme.
Then, as far as the weather is concerned, okay, I need to be formal for this. And now for the weather. Cool Arctic air expected in the south tomorrow. Scattered to widespread thunder showers are most likely in the northeast and in eastern places tomorrow. Please take the necessary precaution. In the meantime, the interior, cool at first in the south, central high grounds, and the east, otherwise partly cloudy and mild in the southwest and west. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and mild to hot, with a few to isolated thunder showers, but scattered to widespread thunder showers in the northeast in places. The coast, partly cloudy and mild to warm. The wind, moderate southwesterly, but fresh to strong southeasterly in the south. Maximum temperatures for today: in Windhoek today 25, Walvis Bay 24, Swakopmund 23. Katima Mulilo 30 degrees Celsius, not too hot in Katima Mulilo today. However, if we're going to Omothea, we're looking at 28 and also 28 degrees Celsius in Ondangwa, with Oshakati also 28. So it looks like nice temperatures for the north.
Yeah.
Otjiwarongo today 30 with Rehoboth at 26. Looking at Marienthal 28 and Keetmanshoop 25. So definitely cooler temperatures in the south. Karasburg 23 degrees Celsius. Going to the east of the country, Grobabas 25 with Beitepos also 25. So we're looking at nice bearable temperatures in Namibia today.
Vielen Dank, Kaufi.
Bitte schön.
Clotilda says, Kaufi, los onze COVID-19 cases uit asseblief. I might be positive, but I'm ignoring that at the moment. say Clotilda daar uit Germany. Trini says, hey, let it be a German problem. Let it be a German problem. We cannot wait to throw the mask away. Soon enough here in Mzansi, man. Hey, watch the space, mfowethu. Yeah, Trini, I can't wait for you guys to throw away the masks, open the soccer and rugby stadium so that we can, for once, start watching proper soccer and rugby again.
China moet ook ophouden met zijn
Ja.
nonsens. Hulle wil weer begin.
Estomish, don't let me start with Trump, asseblief.
Los my bra.
It's a trigger for me.
There must be an unwritten rule. We don't talk bad about Trump on the show.
My heart. Rose says, thank you, Coffee. We look forward to the news when you return. Fusek. Maria says, Stefanus, read about their lockdown. All non-essential services closed. Only one person in a household can go to the store once a week or something along those lines. It's not easy. Ek het nie meer lus vir hierdie klas van goeters nie. Seriously. Ek het die lus daarvoor. I sincerely hope and pray we don't go back to this nonsense again. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have almost come to the end of our show. And once again, to all you listeners and viewers out there, thank you so much that you've joined us this morning. Kaufi, ons sien jou dan weer Woensdag.
On Wednesday, yeah. Thank
Nee.
you so much.
Yeah, guys, enjoy
We'll see you guys
your
tomorrow.
Monday. Nee? Enjoy your Monday. May it be blessed, and we will be seeing you guys tomorrow morning.
Ek moet inwennen sa Quibeb se DM's slide vandag.
Moenie begin nie.
Vandag, check net. Môre praat ons daar. Ek sal jou wys wat tekst my.
Okay, maar.
Kom sê ek kan nie nuus lees nie.
Just want to-
Dan slide ek in jou DM's.
Stephanus James Ananias says, "Oh God, please not again."
Hey, Stephanus, hoop het sê. Ek kan lees. Vra vir Neville. Bye.
Bye.